Hey soldiers, an interesting development is coming out of the Sam Bankman Fried trial. I think his lawyers may be angling for a mistrial or even, grounds for appeal. Now, what is this? Well, Wendy Peppercorn, who is someone very prominent over on X, formerly Twitter, describes it thusly, quote, "This is some real crackhead shit for real," unquote. Now, what are we talking about? Well, Sam Bankman-Fried is requesting that the court provide him with more Adderall so that he can concentrate on whether or not he should take the stand. Now, addiction is a powerful illness. However, there are, I would imagine, thousands of defendants that go to court each and every day here in America that have substance abuse problems and are not allowed to imbibe or ingest or otherwise take that drug, that their drug of choice, to concentrate on whether or not they should do something related to their defense. All right. So this is really weird. I'm going to compare it to an alcoholic. Now, why an alcoholic? Because alcohol is legal. In fact, it is less restrictive to be able to obtain some alcohol than it is to get Adderall. All right. So if an alcoholic is there and he's been deprived of his drug of choice, the lawyer is not going to be able to go to the court and say, well, Your Honor, my defendant needs a half pint before we come into court so that he can, basically feel comfortable with participating in his defense and be focused on that. Now, speaking of focus, I would think, this would probably work in my case. If I was facing all those years, I would be hyper focused on what was going on. But again, I've never had to deal with, being addicted to substances. Okay. I know people who have. I'm sure everyone watching this does know someone who battles with that. So, in many ways, this looks like instead of the attorney saying, hey, man, you need to kick this habit, might want to go cold turkey or see if there are any counseling services available to you in the jail. They're basically using this as a means of perpetuating his defense from zero hedge. Now that we've moved past the quote, identity theft from Thai hookers to pay Chinese bribes, unquote, stage of the Sam Bankman-Fried trial news, we can revert back to what's important, the accused's incessant need for Adderall. At least that's what it looks like to us being zero hedge, after Bankman-Fried's, and me too. It seems like the guy's got an addiction. At least that's what it looks like to us after Bankman-Fried's lawyers pled to the court this weekend for more Adderall so that SBF can continue to concentrate during his ongoing trial. Hang with me. I'm going to read you the letter that his attorneys wrote to the court. And that prompted Wendy Peppercorn to pipe up in this tweet and say what she said about this being some crackhead stuff. So let's go ahead and read this letter and see exactly what the defense is requesting. Hang on here. Dear Judge Kaplan, on behalf of our client, Sam Bankman-Fried, we respectfully submit this letter in connection with the issues that we discussed with the court and government on Friday relating to Mr. Bankman-Fried's inability to take his prescribed medication during the trial day. As we noted, Mr. Bankman-Fried has been doing his best to remain focused during the trial for the past 2 weeks, despite not having his prescribed dose of Adderall during trial hours. Now, they're not necessarily claiming that he's not getting it in the jail. They're just saying for the time that he's in court, he's not getting it. And that's probably because there's really no prison nurse there to administer it. And he's being held in custody. It's not like he is out on bail and still free and would be able to pop down to the water fountain and just take his Adderall. No, this has to be administered by an official of the Bureau of Prisons. So that seems to be difficult to do during the trial hours, because the prison nurse is not coming to court with Sam Bankman Fried. He or she is staying at the prison with the prisoners. Prison nurse, not Sam Bankman Fried nurse. However, as we approach the defense case and the critical decision on whether Mr. Bankman Fried will testify, the defense has a growing concern that because of Mr. Bankman Fried's lack of access to Adderall, he has not been able to concentrate at the level he ordinarily would, and that he will not be able to meaningfully participate in the presentation of the defense's case. Sounds like they're setting something up just in case this thing goes south, right? We appreciate the efforts of the court and the government to find a way to address these issues. The defense has also attempted to resolve this matter with the Bureau of Prisons, but we have received no response to numerous emails and voice messages. As discussed with the court on Friday, here's what they want. The current proposal is to give Mr. Bankman Fried a 12-hour extended release 20 milligram dose of Adderall in the morning before he is transported to the courthouse for trial on Monday, October 16. Okay, that was a day ago. We are hopeful that this modification will resolve the situation, but it's not clear that the Bureau of Prisons will, in fact, be able to provide an extended release dose to Mr. Bankman Fried before trial resumes on Monday. Even if this occurs, there is no way of knowing at present whether the extended release dose will be effective for Mr. Bankman Fried. So, sounds like they think that this guy's chances of walking are slimmer than maybe when the trial began, because we've already had the star witness, Caroline Ellison, testify, and she dropped some bombs, okay? So this sentence here, where they're asking for the 12-hour extended release dose, and then they're saying that they haven't been able to find it or haven't been able to provide it, and they don't even know if it will work if they did. Sounds to me like they're getting ready to appeal in the event that he is convicted. What would they appeal on? I have no idea. Maybe there's some attorneys out there that can help us with that. But if they're saying that he was not in his sound mind and body, maybe because he didn't have this prescribed medication. But that begs a question. If he usually doesn't get the 12-hour dose in prison, I don't know how Adderall is administered. I do know that some people have described it, compared it to cocaine in terms of its effect. Then would it work? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an attorney. I don't know. All I know is that you can smell the billionaire privilege from here with this guy, because this is certainly not something that your average defendant has been able to use. Hey, just get me some Jack Daniels or Evan Williams. Wild Irish Rose will work. Just let me, you don't even have to put it on ice. I just got to drink it, and then I'll be ready to go, okay, for the trial. Please. All right, guys. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to you soon.